Good day, everyone, and Merry Christmas. Welcome back to the Doomwaves channel. My channel, Doomwaves, that's me. Thank you for joining me for another pickup video. This was a mixture of pickups and gifts, because of course it is Christmas, and I did receive some cool stuff, and I picked up some stuff actually on Christmas Eve for pretty cheap, and I don't really need the stuff that I picked up, but I'm hoping that I can get a good trade or a good sale out of it, because the stuff was really cheap. The guy was just getting rid of it, so I picked it up. First off, I want to say thank you again to Dustin Christ and Steven the Laggy Gamer for having me on their podcast, Another Gaming Podcast. Check out the link down below to the podcast. It's kind of a long one, but check it out. Yeah, it was a fun time. It's about 3 hours long of us talking on a variety of topics. And also check out Steven and Dustin's channels. If you are my subscriber, then you haven't already checked out their channels. But my new subscribers, thank you for checking out my channel. I'm going to go ahead and get this started here. Hopefully all of you had a good Christmas, a Merry Christmas at that, and hopefully Santa Claus was good to you in the gaming department. But first I want to start off with the pickups that I did come across yesterday. First off, I went to work. My wife contacted me at work because she was off on Christmas Eve, and she said there's an N64 for sale with a couple of games, and he was only asking like 15 bucks. 64 with all the hookups and a couple of controllers and a couple of games, 15 bucks. I said sure, because 15 bucks, whatever. And then in the process of her, communicating with him back and forth, he also said he had a PlayStation 2 with some games. So we bundled everything together, and I ended up paying $35 for this stuff. So first off, we have a regular gray N64 with the little jumper pack, not the expansion, just the jumper pack. And it's cosmetically in pretty good shape. It's a little dirty, but not scratched up or anything like that. It looks really good. It's very nice condition. And it did come with two controllers. It came with the standard gray. It's in the thumbsticks in really good shape. I'm not like an expert on the thumbsticks, but this one doesn't hardly wiggle at all, so I figure that means it's in pretty good shape. And then we got one of these clear purple ones, and same deal. The thumbstick feels pretty good. So yeah, a couple controllers with the N64. The games, nothing exciting. We've got Wheel of Fortune and Cruisin' USA, pretty popular title. Not planning on keeping either one of those. Next, of course, I said I got a slim PlayStation 2. Now, both of these systems are untested. I have not tested them yet to see if they work. I'm assuming that they do. I'm hoping that they do because I paid for them. Yeah, I have not tested either one of these yet. But this also came with the hookups. The RF, though, was a Mad Catz RF that has the plug for PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube on it, which was kind of cool, but it would have probably been better if it was the original Sony RF. I would have been happier. But it did come with a GameStop controller, which I'm actually thinking about keeping, not because I like it or anything, but my only PS2 controller, the left shoulder buttons don't work that well. So I might keep this just until I can find ideally I would get a wireless PS2 controller. That's actually what I'm looking for. And it did come with a Sony regular 8 meg memory card, so that was pretty cool. Games, it came with a greatest hits copy of Gran Turismo 2. I don't think there's a manual. There's no manual, but it does have both discs. I'm not really into racing games, so I'll probably get rid of these. Most of these are racing games. Yeah, that's Gran Turismo 2 for the PlayStation 1, and it also came with Need for Speed Pro Street, and that does not have a manual. Need for Speed Underground, that one does have the manual. And it came with, this one was clearly a bootleg. It's a theme park roller coaster. The cover is in really nasty shape, and the disc looks to have a printed label stuck on it. I'm not really sure, but that one will probably end up in the trash, actually, because I don't feel good selling what might be a bootleg copy to somebody. And then we've got Guitar Hero Aerosmith. I don't have a Guitar Hero controller, but I have Guitar Hero Aerosmith, and nor do I want that. This is probably the only game of the total $35 pickup that I will keep, and it's Spider-Man Friend or Foe for the PlayStation 2, and it does not have a manual either. But so that's probably the only game that I will keep out of that bunch. Okay, moving on. Next, we went to family Christmas at my mother-in-law, or my wife's dad's brother's place. We had Christmas there, and we didn't really do a gift exchange at all, which was fine, you know, because everybody's, you know, short on cash these days. But a couple of my wife's cousins are into games and stuff, and we got to talking about them and stuff, and one of them has a PSP, and he said that his PSP no longer read UMDs. So he had it hacked, so he just, you know, played emulators and stuff like that. So he gave me all of his UMDs for his PSP, which was pretty cool. He also threw in this case, this PSP case, for kind of cool. But yeah, I got a lot of games here. Not sure if all of these work or not, but we have Need for Speed Pro Street. You probably can't see these, but just take my word for it. Modified Air Combat Heroes. Need for Speed Underground, doesn't have a label on it. And we've got Ghost in the Shell. And we've got Daxter. Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron. North American Adventures. And Reflex MX vs. ATV. I'll probably keep some of these if they work. I'm not sure all of them work. I was trying them out a little bit in my PSP last night, and my PSP started to do some weird things. Started to make like a weird clicking noise, and yeah, I read up a little bit, and I think that the disk drive might be going bad, so I'm not happy about that. But it's working for now, and I'm going to cross my fingers, and I'm not going to change UMDs very often. So, but also they had some NES games that they didn't really play anymore, and they were going to give these to me too, but I felt bad already for taking all of his PSP games. So I gave him $20, and I got all that PSP stuff, and I got 2 NES games also. We got Time Lord, and this one right here, Flintstones Rescue of Dino and Hoppy. I'm pretty sure this is not the rare one, but I've seen a lot of gameplay of the Flintstones games, both of them, and I'm pretty sure this is a pretty awesome little platformer, so I'm excited to play it. And excited to have it in my collection, even though it's not the rare one. I'm not really sure I care about the rarity of it. But lastly here, the last thing on my pickup video is a somewhat of a rarity. It's one of the later releases on the NES, I'm pretty sure, and it is a very uncommon game. And this was a Christmas gift from my mom, and I knew I was getting it because I picked it out. And it's one that I've never seen in person in the wild, and I've seen it go on eBay. You know, a box copy goes for, you know, $30 to $50 in there somewhere, and a cart usually sells for around $20. This is cart only, and it does have a little plastic sleeve, so that's nice. And it is none other than Swamp Thing for the NES. Very excited to have this game. I know for a fact that it is hard as crap. I've played an emulator of it quite a bit, actually. I'm kind of obsessed with Swamp Thing. He's one of my favorite characters, and very happy to have this in my collection. I'm also looking for the Game Boy game. For the original Game Boy, there is a Swamp Thing game. And there's just not too much Swamp Thing stuff out there, and I wish that there was more. But he's one of the lesser-known superheroes, I guess. You have a really cool Swamp Thing action figure from Kenner Toys. I've had this since I was very young. I can't even remember. And he's got like his hand pulls out, and you squeeze his legs together, and it retracts. Very cool. I love Swamp Thing. This is one of the only Swamp Things that I have, and that's why he sits back here on top of my shelf. Okay, that was it for Christmas gifts and a pre-Christmas pickup that I could not resist. I will say though that I did end up getting quite a bit of Christmas money this year, and I'm planning on binging on some games. So there will be another pickup video probably sometime this week. I just wanted to go ahead and get this pickup out of the way since I had all the extra stuff that I picked up on Christmas Eve. So thanks for watching, and once again thanks for my new subscribers, and I want to toast to a Merry Christmas to all of you who watch my channel. Thank you for joining me, and once again check out Another Gaming Podcast, episode number 6, featuring yours truly. Dustin Christ and Stephen Laggy Gamer were kind enough to have me on as a guest, and it is a very awesome podcast. I've listened to it. So go check it out, please, and thank you. Doomwaves, out.